Tonight, the severe storm watch as we come on the air. New York City, Philadelphia, down to Washington, D.C. Bracing for dangerous storms, high winds after the blistering heat. And the lightning strikes, 8 people on one beach injured. Hundreds of thousands without power tonight. And Ginger Z with a new track as this hits in the coming hours. Also developing tonight, rising tensions between the U.S. and Iran. Iran tonight now claiming to have captured 17 alleged CIA spies. How President Trump is now responding amid new images tonight of Iranian gunships circling that captured tanker. The American woman and her boyfriend discovered dead on a road trip in Canada, and just in tonight, authorities have just revealed the cause of death, and they've now released a sketch of a person they want to talk to. And this evening, the second mystery just now emerging in Canada. Here at home tonight, the young college student found dead just 20 miles from campus. What authorities are now saying tonight. On the Hill this evening, preparing for Robert Mueller's testimony before the American people. Tonight, what we've learned about what he plans to bring, what he plans to say. The family tragedy at the beach, the father of 6, just 37, a wave hitting him as he was playing with his children, knocking him down, breaking his neck. He did not survive. The massive protests in Puerto Rico tonight demands the governor resign. What he's now saying, will it be enough? And America Strong tonight, a simple idea for America's troops overseas. It's off on the right foot.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. It's great to start another week with all of you at home. And we begin tonight with that severe thunderstorm watch up right now from D.C. up through Philadelphia and New York City. In fact, millions bracing tonight for dangerous winds and rain during this commute home. The new front already causing dangerous driving on I-70 in St. Louis. Trucks and cars swamped by flash flooding. This is Eureka, Missouri you're looking at. And downing trees and power lines in Brighton, Michigan tonight. More than 300,000 people are without power this evening from Wisconsin all the way to New York City. Thousands in Brooklyn remain in the dark tonight. All of this as we're also tracking a new tropical threat tonight that will affect the East Coast. But first, these storms hitting now and into the evening. ABC's Lindsay Davis leads us off.
Tonight, powerful storms pounding the Northeast.
Debris, power lines, they fell into the roadway. That's why state police shut down 270.
The severe weather finally snapping a deadly heat wave. New York City's grid pushed to the limit. Overhead wires catching fire, manholes smoking. The power company cutting electricity for more than 30,000 customers Sunday evening, saying they were trying to prevent a larger outage.
It's very hot. Couldn't sleep last night.
How long have you been without power?
From 7 last night.
Just unreal. Unreal.
Con Ed handing out dry ice and water to residents today. This as high winds are likely to blame for this crane collapse in New Brunswick, New Jersey.
The entire wrecking ball went through the home and landed right back on the first floor.
Luckily, no one was hurt. In Michigan, utility crews racing to restore power there too. At one point, more than 800,000 homes and businesses were without power after severe storms moved through. And in Florida, a lightning strike from a heat-fueled thunderstorm injured 8 people on a beach near Tampa Sunday. David, Con Ed is still working to restore power to some customers here in Brooklyn. And now a new concern of severe thunderstorms and flash flooding through late tonight. David.
Lindsay Davis leading us off tonight. Lindsay, thanks so much. We want to get right to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z, who is inside tonight. Really too dangerous for you and the crew outside on these nights when we have severe storms and lightning. So tell us what we're looking at.
Also flash flood warnings. I mean, we were seeing ponding already all over the city. And you can see it's not just us. This line impacting folks from Virginia all the way through Maryland. Delaware has here near 60 to 80 mile per hour winds already recorded, up to Connecticut, where we find those flash flood warnings. Now, remember, these come with 1 to 3 inch per hour rainfall rates at times. So if you see water on that roadway, do not go into it. You're going to end up seeing not just tonight, but early tomorrow morning. Another round of them. We stopped the clock there at 7 a.m., broke it down right through Raleigh by tomorrow night, Norfolk, Virginia, down to Charleston, South Carolina by late Tuesday. And finally, David, you mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, that area over the Bahamas, 1 to 3 inches of rain possible for Florida up to the Carolinas, then it'll die out.
All right, watching a lot to start the week. Ginger, thank you. Of course, the other story we're following closely at this hour, rising tensions between the U.S. and Iran. Iran tonight now claiming to have arrested 17 alleged spies trained by the CIA. Iran showing images they say are the CIA officers who ran the network. And new images tonight of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard commandos dropping down from a helicopter to seize that British tanker, and the pictures of the Iranian gunships circling that captured tanker as well. Martha Raddatz tonight with late reporting just in.
Iranian state television today claiming these images, which we've blurred, show CIA officers who ran a network of spies. 17 Iranian nationals they say were spying on nuclear, cyber, and military programs for the U.S.
That's totally a false story. That's another lie. They put out propaganda. They put out lies.
This comes as the first video of the crew of a British-flagged oil tanker has emerged. The 23 crew members captured after a dramatic seizure at sea by Iranian commandos, seen circling the tanker, looking for a spot to land, with a warning to the commercial vessel to turn around.
Change your course to 360 degrees immediately. If you obey, you will be safe. Over.
But it was a British warship that responded to the warning, trying to stop the Iranian commandos from boarding the Stena.
Please confirm that you are not intending to violate international law by unlawfully attempting to board the MV Stena.
But within moments, the Iranian commandos were rappelling down to the tanker from the helicopter. A short time later, raising the Iranian flag above it.
So let's get right to Martha Raddatz with us live tonight. And Martha, I want to go back to those photographs the Iranians have released tonight that they claim are CIA officers. What do we know about them?
Well, some of the names do match with current or former State Department employees, but they came from business cards that the Iranians found. But whether these were real CIA officers or not, David, the Iranians have put these individuals in danger by releasing those images and names, David.
All right, Martha Raddatz with us on a Monday night as well. Thank you, Martha. We also have new reporting at this hour in the murder of an American woman and her boyfriend found dead on a road trip in Canada. A news conference just a short time ago, and police now revealing the cause of death and a sketch of a person they want to talk to. And this all comes amid a second mystery now emerging as well. Here's ABC's chief national correspondent, Matt Gupton, tonight.
Canadian police now revealing the murder of that young couple along a remote highway, and a third mysterious death could be connected.
It's unusual to have two major investigations undergoing of this nature in northern BC at the same time. And so we recognize that there is a possibility that these could be linked.
That as new details emerging about the pair of young adventurers. American, China descent, her boyfriend, Lucas Fowler, driving through British Columbia.
We can now confirm that China and Lucas were the victims of gun violence.
Road worker Trevor Pierre found the bodies.
I don't know how anybody could live with themselves after doing what I saw.
Tonight, police releasing this sketch of a bearded man they say was seen talking to the couple. That sketch similar to the second sketch, another unidentified bearded man. This man found dead Friday, also in northern British Columbia. That man found about a mile from the burning camper of two teens believed to be missing.
It's the height of tourism season in British Columbia, David, and Canadian police seemed concerned, urging campers to stay vigilant and establish check-in times with their families.
David, yeah, all of it is unsettling, Matt. Thank you. Here at home tonight, the mystery death of a college student in Mississippi. Officers on patrol finding her body near a lake about 20 miles from the Ole Miss campus. Authorities do suspect foul play tonight, and here's ABC's Adrian Bankert now.
Tonight, police are looking for whoever may have killed 21-year-old college student Alexandria Allie Costal. Investigators say she was discovered dead over the weekend on the edge of this lake near the University of Mississippi, known as Ole Miss. Allie's father, Keith Costal, posted on Facebook that Allie had been attending summer school and teaching fitness classes at Ole Miss, writing online that police communicated to us that our beautiful dear Allie was the victim of a homicide. The sheriff department says that one of their deputies found her body about 20 miles from campus and that foul play was involved. A school official shared in a statement, "We are truly saddened by the death of Alexandria Costal. Allie was a valued member of our campus community. And tonight, Allie's sorority sisters are paying tribute to her on social media. One writes, "She was the brightest light and always had a smile on her face. She truly was a ray of sunshine."
Authorities say they're following several leads at this time. The State Bureau of Investigations as well as police are assisting in the case. David?
Adrian, thank you. And now to the images coming in tonight from Puerto Rico. Massive crowds, protests. In fact, those crowds spilling onto San Juan's main expressway, shutting down traffic, calling for Governor Ricardo Rossello to resign. Tonight, his new interview and his new offer that he will not run again, but that he won't resign. Will it be enough for those protesters? ABC's Victor Oquendo in San Juan tonight.
Tonight, united and defiant. Calls for Puerto Rico's Governor Ricardo Rossello to step down, reaching their highest levels Monday. An island-wide strike, belting out their battle cry, "Ricky, resign."
Puerto Ricans are flooding the streets. This is actually the on-ramp to the highway. And if you take a look down at the overpass, they've shut it down.
Singer Ricky Martin, born and raised here, among them, all protesting for a 10th straight day after the leak of those obscenity-laced, sexist, and homophobic group chats between the governor and his closest advisors, mocking and insulting some constituents.
We want a government that really represents us, that is working there for the people of Puerto Rico and not for their own benefits and the benefits of their own friends.
In a Facebook address Sunday, Rossello said he won't seek re-election, but he will finish his term. The governor reaffirming that today in an interview on Fox News amid the massive protests.
I've made a decision. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to seek re-election. And that way I can focus on the job at hand.
But many here want him gone now.
David, these protesters made the long trek to the governor's mansion in the pouring rain. Despite his repeated refusals to step down, they all tell me the same thing. They only plan to stop when he plans on resigning. David?
It doesn't appear to end anytime soon. Victor, thank you. On the Hill tonight, Democrats and Republicans are preparing their questions for Robert Mueller as Mueller now testifies before the American people on Wednesday. And tonight here, we've now learned about what Mueller plans to bring, a prepared statement. And tonight, the president now says he plans to watch at least part of Mueller, too. ABC's Kira Phillips at the White House.
After first insisting he won't watch the Mueller hearings, President Trump acknowledged today that maybe he will.
No, I'm not going to be watching, probably, maybe I'll see a little bit of it. I'm not going to be watching Mueller because you can't take all those bites out of the apple.
Robert Mueller is a reluctant witness, appearing under subpoena. He had hoped his report would speak for itself.
And the report is my testimony. I would not provide information beyond that which is already public in any appearance before Congress.
Today, Mueller's spokesperson insists that statement still stands, that Mueller will only talk about what's in his report and will be submitting the unredacted version as his statement on Wednesday. It will be his 89th appearance before Congress. He's been preparing with a team of former staffers in the offices of his old law firm, Wilmer Hale. Democrats planning to push him on why he didn't clear the president on obstruction of justice.
If we had had confidence that the president clearly did not commit a crime, we would have said so.
The president today attacking Mueller as conflicted and the Democrats as desperate.
There was no obstruction. There's no nothing. They're wasting their time.
And Kira Phillips joins us from the White House now. And Kira, Robert Mueller, of course, did not clear President Trump of obstruction, saying if he could have, he would have. But we remember at the time, Attorney General William Barr did clear the president. Our Pierre Thomas asking at the time of Barr, did Mueller want him to make that decision or did he want Congress to decide? And Kira, I gather this central issue will come up on Wednesday.
Oh, that's top of mind for congressional Democrats, David. They're going to definitely want to hear from Mueller on this, but they're also preparing for a lot of one-word answers. And tonight, they have no true sense of how Mueller will actually respond. David?
Kira Phillips with us live at the White House. Thanks, Kira. Now to your money tonight. And after that major data breach, your personal information, Equifax is now paying a record amount. The credit reporting agency now agreeing to pay up to $700 million. In fact, millions will go to American consumers. ABC's chief business correspondent, Rebecca Jarvis, with what you need to know.
Tonight, potential relief for the 147 million Americans impacted by that massive Equifax data breach.
We vigorously encourage every person who was impacted by the Equifax data breach to apply for the relief that they are entitled to as part of this settlement.
The credit bureau agreeing to pay almost $700 million, including up to $425 million going to consumers, as much as $20,000 to each victim who lost money to identity theft or even just spent time trying to protect their data in the wake of the breach. But to collect anything, you need to gather the right documents, like statements showing losses to your accounts, receipts for the money you spent monitoring credit, even fees paid to accountants and attorneys.
And for those who spent time dealing with the data breach, they are now eligible for $25 an hour for up to 20 hours. Victims could also get 10 years of free credit monitoring. But remember, this is not automatic. You have to file a claim in order to be eligible, David.
All right. Your first time back with us since maternity leave.
Good to be back.
Great to have you. Congrats. In other news tonight, there is news on the federal budget this evening. President Trump announcing a 2-year deal with congressional Democrats. Republican leaders also signing on tonight. The president calls the bipartisan agreement a, quote, real compromise. It would boost spending for defense and also for Democrats' domestic priorities, and it would lift the debt ceiling past the election. A vote in Congress is expected by the end of the week. And honoring former Supreme Court Justice John Paul Stevens, his casket was carried into the High Court as dozens of his former law clerks stood by today. 5 of the current justices were there for a simple ceremony. President Trump and the First Lady visiting to pay their respects. Stevens, who served 35 years on the High Court, will be buried at Arlington National Cemetery tomorrow. There's tonight here that awful family tragedy, the father of 6. He was just 37 years old, killed by a wave in North Carolina while playing with his children. Here's Gio Benitez.
He was a father to 6 children, and tonight a family is in mourning after a freak accident.
You feel such overwhelming sorrow and grief for their family.
Lee Dingle was on Oak Island Beach in North Carolina in shallow water playing with his kids when he got hit by a wave, the force knocking him down so hard he broke his neck. His wife Shannon posting on Twitter that his own kids tried to save him, but he did not survive. The Dingles have 2 biological children and 4 adopted. His friends remembering a caring man.
He saw each child for who they were uniquely and just supported them.
The Dingles were the subject of a 2016 profile by our Raleigh station, WTVD, when their daughter Zoe was gifted an electric lift for her wheelchair. And David, a GoFundMe account has been set up for the family. His wife says his organs will be donated, yet another selfless act. David.
Gio, thank you. Went to the index of other news this Monday night, the rush hour rollover outside Chicago. A pickup truck blowing a tire, the driver losing control, flipping onto I-88 this morning. The driver was trapped, but Good Samaritans lifted the truck onto its side, the driver escaping, and he thanked everyone for their help. There is news tonight about soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo. Authorities say he will not face sexual assault charges in Las Vegas. The DA now saying the allegations he attacked a woman in his hotel room can't be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. A passing to note tonight. Art Neville has died, a founding member of the Neville Brothers, an iconic musician who helped shape New Orleans music for decades. Art Neville was 81. And Alex Trebek and his birthday. We just didn't want it to go by without wishing him happy birthday. Alex Trebek turned 79 today. America Strong, a mom and a simple request from her son serving overseas. Deborah Houseladen of Malvern, Pennsylvania, is a mom on a mission.
When the shoes come in.
Yeah. It all began with a call from her son, who was serving in Afghanistan.
He needed a pair of sneakers because his sneakers were starting to wear out.
The sneakers he'd been issued were worn through.
We said we'd gladly send him a pair of sneakers over, and we asked about the other men in his platoon, and he said same situation, that they needed sneakers. Their sneakers were wearing out.
So as any mother would, Deborah got to work.
Within a week, we had Sneakers for Soldiers formed.
Her nonprofit Sneakers for Soldiers partnering with a local shoe store and a marketing firm, shipping more than 200 pairs.
Thing as sneakers.
Each pair individually chosen, depending on what they're looking for, what they need. In Afghanistan, for one, conditions can be so harsh, the terrain, the temperatures, and we saw it firsthand earlier this year. Our troops, no surprise, in better shape than the rest of us.
Well, thank you for your service. We're all proud of you back home. I'm proud of your workout, too.
So many of our troops in their new sneakers and grateful tonight, and the letters they send back to that mom, Deborah.
It reminds us that not all Americans have forgotten us.
And it all began with that request from her son.
It is just a wonderful feeling knowing that something as basic and as needed as a sneaker is putting a smile on their faces.
Deborah's website, Sneakers for Soldiers. We love it. Good night.